So recently I stumbled across a short where Casey Kelly goes over his leg workout structure and how you should make your own leg workouts. Because Casey Kelly is a pretty well respected guy in the fitness industry, I figured I'd go over his workout leg structure and whether you should listen to his advice or not. Before I get started with the video, if you're looking for structured programs to help you build your dream aesthetic physique or reach peak athlete athleticism, I have a 90-day aesthetic body blueprint and a 120-day peak athleticism package. With the 90-day aesthetic body blueprint obviously being aesthetic and hypertrophy focused, while the 120-day peak athleticism package is more performance focused. Both of these have monthly workouts, access to my private community, as well as weekly Q&A calls to answer any of your questions. But if you're someone who feels like they benefit more from one-on-one coaching, I also have one-on-one coaching. All these will be in the description.
This is the only way you need to structure your leg days to make the best progress no matter what equipment you have. Individual volumes may vary, but this will start you out on the right foot. First, we're going to split your leg days into a quad focus day and a hamstring focus day.
So this workout split. Casey Kelly divides his workout split into a quad focus and hamstring focus days. In my opinion, it's better to do full leg workouts because I prefer to hit each muscle group twice per week. An example I put here is that it's better to do 10 sets twice per week for a muscle group rather than doing 20 sets in one session. So essentially, if you use the chest, you do 2 chest workouts with 10 sets each rather than doing one large chest workout with 20 sets. This will lead to less fatigue and more efficient sets. So obviously, if you're doing really high volume in one workout, your later sets are gonna be pretty bad because you're so fatigued. So here's an example. You can either do 5 intense quad sets twice per week versus 10 intense quad sets in one workout, with obviously these later sets in this one, so the last 5 sets because you're doing 5 more sets in this workout, being far less intense because you're so much more fatigued from those first 5 intense sets. Although Casey Kelly does technically hit the quads and hamstrings twice per week because he adds in 1 quad exercise and 1 hamstring exercise to the other workout, in my opinion it would be better if he just did 1 complete leg workout and split up the volume, which will lead to more effective, more efficient sets.
On quad day, start with an adductor machine to open up your hips for the rest of the workout. Then move over to your favorite squat pattern. Any will do, just make sure to go heavy and hard on this movement in the 5 to 10 rep range while still getting a super deep and controlled stretch. Next, move over to your favorite leg press, once again going heavy and hard with perfect form. To finish off your quads, head over to the leg extension machine and choose a weight you can get about 10 to 15 solid reps with. Finally, head over to a seated hamstring curl machine to finish off your first leg day.
So Casey Kelly's quad focus day. He starts off with an adductor warm-up. This is not something that I would say that everyone has to do, but it can be very beneficial and it's something that you can experiment with and see if it works for you. Warming up your adductors can help with range of motion as well as recruiting your adductors in the squat, especially when you're getting a little bit deeper in that movement. So his first squat exercise is a squat pattern and he chose to do a machine over a free weight squat. In my opinion, you should be doing a free weight squat because of the more functional benefits, as well as recent research pointing to the fact that free weights builds the same amount of muscle as machines as long as you're going close to failure. Casey Kelly says to go super deep and get a controlled stretch. I would say super deep can be kind of taken out of context here. You don't have to go ridiculously deep. Just go as deep as you can comfortably get while maintaining good tension in your core and your quads. I get this question a lot. When do you think it's okay to do a machine squat? I obviously think that free weight squats are better than machine squats, but if you want to use a machine squat, it should be used in addition to a free weight squat and not as a replacement like Casey Kelly is doing here. And now to the second exercise, and he says to do a leg press, which is a really stupid choice because he doesn't seem to understand that the leg press is a squat movement. Although the leg press is an open chain squat movement versus the hack squat or just a standard free weight barbell squat being a closed chain, and by closed chain it means that essentially the distal part of the leg, so the very bottom part of the leg, is staying stationary while your body's moving, but obviously with a leg press your legs will be moving while your body's in the same spot. So when it comes to him incorporating the leg press, which again is a squat movement, he needs to make sure that volume is accounted for. And what I mean by this is that he needs to consider the leg press as a squat movement and not put a bunch of volume on it, thinking that it's not a squat pattern and kind of neglecting other movements. And I put here, this would also make sense if you did a free weight squat as your first exercise. Like I said before, machine squat movement shouldn't be used as a replacement for free weight squats, but rather in addition. So here it would make sense if maybe his first exercise was a barbell squat and then he did a leg press afterwards just for a little bit more volume. Overall, this leg press is a terrible choice, and it all stems from the fact that he doesn't know that the leg press is a squat movement. Third exercise, leg extensions. This is so stupid. The reason why the leg extension is stupid in this scenario is because he hasn't done a lunge variation yet. The foundational leg movements that hit the quads well are the squat and the lunge. So he shouldn't be doing leg extensions here because he hasn't even done a lunge variation. And as I put here, this should be a lunge variation, and leg extensions is a really stupid choice. Now into his fourth exercise, and he chose to do leg curls. This is a quad focused workout, so I'm not going to be super picky here because this is more of an accessory exercise, and you really can't hate on accessory exercises because it's just essentially extra volume. And here's my corrected quad focused leg workout based on Casey Kelly's basic structure. So I'd obviously start off with a barbell squat or any sort of free weight squat, and I'd be doing 3 sets. After that, I'd be doing a machine squat movement, so a leg press, hack squat, etc. for 2 sets. Again, like I stated earlier, doing a machine squat isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it shouldn't be used in replacement for a free weight squat. So here, I have my free weight squat to start off with a little bit more volume, and then I do a machine squat movement afterwards, and just to complement the free weight squat exercise. After the 2 squat movements, I would be doing a Bulgarian split squat, so a free weight lunge exercise for 3 sets. Adding a lunge movement is so important because the majority of sports skills and activities of daily living are done on one leg, so it's important to incorporate some unilateral leg exercises, with the Bulgarian split squat being a great exercise. So I bolded the barbell squat and the Bulgarian split squat so that you know that we have our free weight foundational human leg movements, which is the squat here and the lunge here. So after that, I think it can be appropriate to add in leg extensions. Some of you guys think I hate leg extensions so much, and honestly, I kind of do, but it's not in the way that you might be thinking. The reason why I don't like the leg extensions is because most bodybuilders use it as a replacement for lunges or even squats sometimes, rather than in addition to it. So here, like I said before, I bolded the foundational human movements that are free weights, so barbell squat and Bulgarian split squats. So I think it can be appropriate to add in some leg extensions to make sure that we're taking the quads close to failure, as well as getting the rectus femoris involved a little bit more, because we know that the rectus femoris is not hit incredibly well in squats and lunges. And because Casey Kelly wanted to include leg curls at the end, I just added some leg curls at the end. So overall, you get 10 sets for the quads here, taking 0 to 3 reps shy of concentric muscular failure, which will be more than enough volume.
Now it's on to your hamstring focus leg day. This time, start out with a seated leg curl to pre-exhaust your hamstrings and ensure they are the limiting factor for your next exercise. The big compound movement on this day will be a hip hinge. I'd recommend an RDL, but a good morning could work as well. Again, get a super deep stretch on these and control the weight the entire time. Once you're done with that, now choose a quad movement to ensure adequate quad stimulus throughout the week. I typically choose a leg press or leg extensions. And to round out the second leg day of the week, head back over to the adductor machine for a few sets. Oh, and one more thing. Don't skip your calves. Choose 1 or 2 exercises each day where your knees are straight, and make sure to get a super deep stretch.
Now on to Casey Kelly's hamstring focus day, and his first exercise is a leg curl, and he does it more as a pre-exhaustion exercise. There are pros and cons to this. Pros: target muscles will fatigue first whenever you do your compound exercises. The con though is that you're going to get reduced performance in your compound lifts. There's really no right or wrong answer with this. If you want to do a pre-exhaustion exercise first, that's fine, but I typically don't, just because I want to maximize my performance in the compound lifts like I mentioned here. Following the leg curl, he decided to do an RDL, so he included his hinge exercise, like I said before, kind of with the leg extensions. I don't mind the leg curl as long as it's not a replacement for a hinge movement like he has here in RDL, which so many bodybuilders do. They like to do a leg curl as a replacement for a hinge and then not do any sort of hinging exercise. So it's good that he included an RDL here, aka a hinge exercise. He uses a lifting belt and straps here. Straps I can kind of get. The only time I recommend straps are for deadlift movements, because the deadlift obviously uses a lot of weight and the bar tends to roll out of your hands to where you're not taking the hamstrings close enough to failure. But using a lifting belt here is freaking stupid because the lift is not even close to failure, which the lifting belt should only be used for maximal or submaximal lifts, which directly affect the low back, with the RDL obviously directly affecting the low back, but again, it's not submaximal. But I'm not going to roast him too bad here because at least he included a hinge exercise, which, saying that, shows you how little I think of bodybuilders. For his third exercise, he decided to do a quad exercise, which I'm not too picky because again, it's more of an accessory movement and not necessarily a huge bulk of this workout, because obviously it's a hamstring focused day. And his fourth exercise is pretty stupid: calves. Calves aren't aesthetic and it's not going to lead to a more aesthetic physique. But because his workouts focus more on the posterior part of the legs, I think adding in a thrust would be very beneficial. For this workout, as long as the leg curls and the RDLs add up to 6 to 10 sets, I have no problem with this workout. And as long as the quad and hamstring volume is equal or at least close to equal, because most people have a quad muscular imbalance where their quads are stronger and bigger than their hamstrings. So overall, I would give Casey Kelly's leg workouts a 5 out of 10. I think the quad workout was a lot worse than the hamstring workout. And I also am a bigger fan of doing just 2 complete leg workouts rather than 2 separate ones. Let me know what you guys think of Casey Kelly's leg workout in the comments. And I recently looked at Marlon Israel's and Eric Janicki's back workout, which you should check out.